William, who was the most difficult subject you had to photograph?
Jack Bruce, actually. Jack Bruce. I think the picture's here somewhere. I began a project about 6 months ago, which I've called 1LP, which is a portrait of a musician or other artists, writers, and of expanding the realm of subjects that I want to cover in terms of their profession and to give a more diverse, bigger range of people, really. So anyway, I've contacted Jack Bruce's management through Band on the Wall. I do a lot of work with Band on the Wall in Manchester. So they were in touch with him, and we sent emails to his management and basically outlined what I was doing, which is basically a portrait of the artist with one of their favourite albums. And they're kind of giving some words about why the record is so special to them, because you can imagine. I'll tell you what Jack Bruce said in a few moments. So when the pictures are exhibited as a set and I hope published, the words from the subject will be with the image. So it's quite an engaging and very interesting, illuminating insight into where they come from, I guess, as a musician and, of course, as a person in what happens to be one of their favourites. And Jack Bruce, the reaction I got from Jack Bruce was that he thought it was a damn stupid idea. So it was kind of a bit of a bad start. So I persevered and I managed to get hold of the management, their email, them directly, and I explained more about it. Anyway, in the end, we managed to get the name of the album that he wanted. And so I turned up at the Band on the Wall with the CD, and it was La Solution by Messiaen, who was a French composer. So I rocked up, set the lights up, and it was arranged that I was going to do the photograph around 7:30. Jack would be there at 7:15. The band would be on at 8, and they would play for half an hour without him, and then he would go out and do his thing. So we're all ready to go, and Jack turns up on time. And the first thing that happens is the road manager says, Jack says he'll do the picture after the show, which very often means they're not going to do the picture, they're going to come off and just say, well, maybe next time. So over the years, rather like Terry here, I've kind of devised little functions of coercion and downright bribery. So I took along with me a print of Charles Mingus' Space Head, which I photographed some years before. And obviously as one of the great original jazz rock bass players, Jack Bruce is going to have Charles Mingus in his heart somewhere. So after I was told we're going to do a shoot later, I chose that. I was going to give him the print anyway, obviously, quite honestly. So I said to his road manager, would you be so kind as to pass this through to Mr. Bruce with my compliments, as a kind of a thank you for his kindly agreeing to be photographed. So reasserting what the hell they're doing there, as you have to, sort of pleasantly and just not discreetly, but just kind of make sure that it's going to happen. So Jack came out of the dressing room like immediately and said, "Did you take this picture?" So I said, "Yes," because he was challenged. "Where was it?" So I said, "It was in Glasgow." He said, I can't remember his son's name, but he said, "Did John have the bass?" So I said, "No, it was with Linda, his widow, and she was there with the Mingus Big Band. And the bass was being played, this is in Glasgow, maybe 15, 16 years ago. But they were touring with one of Charles Mingus' basses, which is just kind of mind-blowing when you think of the heritage of that instrument. And Charles Mingus's place in jazz is as high as anybody. So we go through this, a little bit more sussing you out whether he's going to bother spending his time. So he goes on stage and we do pictures of him in concert. And afterwards he comes back down, it takes 10 minutes, just relaxing with a glass of wine. And finally he came out of the dressing room and said, "Well, do you mind if I'm in disguise?" So I said, "Well, Jack, that would be great. Whatever you want, it's fine." I was really excited that he was bothering to do something, because you can imagine being a figure who's of that status, who's been around, he's been through the whole 60s thing. you can imagine all the management things, the rip-offs, the merchants he's met and everybody else, and another one turns up. So I'm thinking all these things, but he comes out, he said, do you mind if I'm in disguise? So I said, no, that's just great. So he disappears for a minute, and I don't know where, is the picture, do you know where the picture is, Tony? Jack Bruce?
Jack Bruce, I think it's actually here, I think, that they didn't get to put it up.
Oh, right, okay, well, maybe we can dig it out, you can just leave it on the wall, which is fine. But, so he comes out with like a small Russian-style fur hat on, with his Ray-Bans, and he's wearing a North American Apache beaded, embroidered shirt, beautiful shirt, and he's just like the complete, he's still there, he's still a complete kind of hippie, he's like still doing it, he's still playing this great jazz bass style. And so we did the pictures, and then I said, well, would you mind, could you tell me why it's so special to you, this album? And he starts very matter-of-factly. It's by Messiaen, a French composer, it's called L'Ascension, and really love the compositions, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going really well, isn't it? I knew we had some good pictures, I was really pleased with them, and you'll see it. And then he just came out with, straight out of the blue, he said, man has stolen music from nature, man has kind of stolen it. He said, just ask a lark or a blackbird. So that's what he said about music, and you'll see he's quite a character, he's a real handful. So in the end, when it actually came to music and to talk about his music that he loves, he was very gentle, very giving, very wonderful guy. So through persevering, he kind of came through that this was a serious endeavour that was really trying to communicate to people some more insight about the musicians. So that was started off scary and ended up very special for me, which is a big part, I think, of taking photographs. As Terry says, the music is wonderful. Sometimes the music isn't wonderful, and sometimes the music can be irrelevant because it is the people. And you can view sometimes the music as a vehicle to get through to people whose kind of outlook, whose vision, whose sounds, whose compositions appeal to you, because you're finding out about that person, and it's coming through their music. So when you actually get to meet them, obviously the music isn't always playing, but it's kind of the connection. So yeah, Jack Bruce was kind of difficult at first, but it was an exciting journey.
What about you, Terry?
Oh, well, I never did any of my photographs by arrangement. The reason, unless I was in a small jazz club, the reason I didn't take photographs of people on stage is I had a Rolleiflex camera with a 75mm lens on 2¼ square. You needed a long lens and you needed a fast lens. Well, the Rolleiflex was a slow lens, 3.5, and the film was slow. So all my pictures are done backstage. And there were snatch pictures, what they call snatch pictures. You see and think and you bang it off. So none of my pictures are by arrangement. The picture of Freddie Green with the guitar neck down the gallery there, he's reading a Hank Johnson book backstage at the Festival Hall. And I just saw it, nice, bang. It doesn't look like, it looks like it's set up, but it's not, it's a snatch picture. Most of my pictures are snatch pictures. An opportunity crops up, click. And because most of the pictures I did backstage, there'd be coat hangers on the wall and light switches. Well, I had to get rid of those in the darkroom. So I darkened the background, made it black and got rid of it all. So they look like posed pictures, but they're not, they're snatch pictures. I'm a press photographer. Press photographers seize the moment. If I have to set a picture up and organise somebody and sit them there I take a bad picture because I'm having to think. And when I'm taking pictures, thinking is the last thing you want to do. It's a Zen thing. You have to become the target. It's like firing an arrow. You have to become the target in order to hit it. If I set pictures up, they're not good pictures. I mustn't think. Because I think, oh, move this way, move that way. It's always a bad judgment. I like to take the moment as it is. It's the Cartier-Bresson way of thinking, but not the Cartier-Bresson way of printing. He says pictures should not be interfered with. You should take a picture and print it exactly, precisely as it is at the moment he took it. Well, I don't agree with that. I'm a pictorialist. I like to turn a photograph into a picture. The subject doesn't bother me.